Hey everyone, this is Brandon from Save the Game Media, host of Save the Game Boy. But today, I'm going to be talking about a game I've been playing that I was able to get for review called Eternal Strands. It is a nice, open-ish RPG in the homage to, let's say, Monster Hunter. There's Monster Hunter, Breath of the Wild, a lot of really cool aspects of this game that I really enjoyed playing through. I've put about 12 to 13 hours into it so far since I was able to get my review copy, and I've been learning a lot through the game itself. Instead, just like how you have with Monster Hunter, where you're hunting large, gigantic creatures to harvest all sorts of materials from them so you can build better gear as well as better weapons to hunt more, you get the same kind of aspects with this, except a little more toned down. Something easier to fathom and understand of how the gameplay loop works, how you're going to be fighting these creatures, what you're going to be doing as what your character is called in this game is a point. The magic in this world is called the weave, which I really do like how they're keeping magic somewhat similar to some other instances we all may know of that use the weave. Characters that you see in the background are just going to be immediately introduced to you, and you get to talk to them and learn through friendship what they're about, what they're doing, and how they want to help you, being their new point, after a terrible accident from their original point. Luckily, you'll find out through the story of how that goes and what happens here. And you can see just from the title splash that was put out for marketing material, there's a couple really cool things in here that you'll see. Down below, you see this giant armor covered in ice. That's an attack you have. You can push and blast ice on all kinds of things. You can also set fire to things and breathe fire. And your other third type, one of my favorites, is the gravity magic. If I'm going into a new area and I find that there's a bunch of enemies I really don't want to deal with, I will just grab it, lift it, and throw it away. Because that's the fun thing. You're allowed to do a lot of different things for travel, for movement, and how you want to enjoy and play this game. It has a day and night cycle. So I'm sorry, I jumped the gun on a few things. A bunch of things I'd like to talk about in this, especially with gameplay mechanics, audio, production, graphical quality, enemy quality, and in terms of life of this game. It's single player, so you don't have to have that sense in the back end of your mind. Like Monster Hunter will be like, oh, I want to fight more of these bigger creatures, but now I have to get a team together. We got to go do raids. We got to do take what we can with the time. Like this, there's no real online aspect, which I really love about a lot of games. I don't like going online and needing to be, oh, I'm going to be the tank, so I'm just going to take the damage, and you're going to go in the back and kind of just chip off things. No, I like doing everything for myself, which I've got a great footage from one of the early bosses or creatures you're going to fight for harvesting, as well as explain what they mean by strands. It's an interesting term and what they used for the title, but once we get into it and once you understand what the strand is, this makes a ton of sense in how they built this game. So strands are essential magic from creatures or anything else in the world that allows you to do that type of magic. One of the first creatures you fight is going to be at the bottom of your screen is a arc construct. Those give gravity magic, so that you can pick things up, throw them, or also do this super cool attack where it puts a gravity ball on the ground or on an object or creature, and then you can feed that ball fire or ice, and it will move it around that ball before it explodes, dealing a ton of damage. So you can hit fire people with hit them with the gravity ball, hit them with the ice. It's going to freeze them in point and then do a ton of damage, hopefully killing them. If not, giving you the opportunity to get in there and kill them quicker, so you don't have to take too much damage. It uses a healing system similar to like Dark Souls, but you can always find these health vials out in the open. So it's more like Bloodborne, where you get your vials, you're able to find them. Every time you start a new area, you start with your minimum 3, and there is an upgrade process that allows you to carry more. But again, you can find vials throughout the world so that you can keep replenishing and not need to go back to your home base as much, which I really, really enjoy. But it is kind of fun having that panic of like, oh, I've looted all of the vials in this area, and I'm almost done with this creature. Can I survive? Or am I going to fail miserably and lose all of the loot that I've been gathering? Happened to me earlier today. But you know what? You get to take a few pieces of key items with you if you do die, so it's not a total loss. So you're getting a bunch of different aspects from different games that they put together to make something nice and cohesive. So first, I want to show you one of the early game bosses. Like, this is the first one you're really going to come up against, so I wouldn't really call this a spoiler. But this is the Ark of Stricken Earth. You see I'm using the gravity ball with the ice around it, and it's doing some small chip damage. But that's what you're doing. You're chipping away at the armor of this thing, which I just got hit with, so that you can see what you need to do. Picking up items along the way, watching out, and this is where I thought Breath of the Wild. You have stamina, climbing, a lot of other fun things that you can do within the world and with traveling. What I have here is going to be a little bit longer of a video, but this is how you harvest. Once you do something to the creature that exposes this mark, that's called the strand. You're going to be able to go on there, grab right into them, and rip it out, giving yourself the ability to add that to your mantle to get more magic and do more things. This is how you get your upgrades. You can upgrade these strands to level 3, meaning you need to just kill these things or extract the strand 3 times, and then you're done with them unless you need to harvest more items. You'll always get a gold 5-star item from them and a bunch of purple 4-star items. Obviously, 5 stars are better, but harder to get because you have to harvest them directly from these massive creatures. And you can farm them by just going back to a teleporter and then coming back to this area or seeing where they're going to be in the teleporter. It was super fun for me to find out that, oh, I'm going to go back to stage 1 to fight this construct and then find out, oh, the area is covered in ice and a whole new creature's here waiting for me. It gives you a little bit more on the replayability scale rather than I'm going to go to this area, fight this one thing, come back, go back, fight it again, because now I need to fully grind this one item that I need for a weapon set or an armor set or however you want to look at it. Now this is making you go to different areas knowing where the enemy's going to be, but fighting them in different biomes, different locations. I'm in right now the second biome, kind of a forestry area, but it does take you directly through the story as to why you're here. Right here you can see these are resources that I was able to gather from that boss fight, as well as throughout that section. But it also tells me what else is going on. I'm going to fast forward a bit here. We'll do a little bit here for some of the basic creatures you'll find. Nice and easy kills. My go-to strategy is this ice strategy. Just hitting them with the ice freezes them in place, and then I'm able to take my heavy weapon and just cut them down without a problem. Everyone has their own fighting strategies, and I implore you to find what works best for you, however you want to play. There is no right or wrong answer to any challenge. And you can see chests are plentiful in the area. That part over there was really cool because you can see half of that is covered in ice. So your two elements here are fire and ice, and you're going to be building armor sets on what you want for heat or cold resistance, depending on what areas you need to go into. Also with that is you can use your fire magic or fire bows, which I absolutely love my fire bow, to just melt away all the ice. Walking in the area, getting a little chill, heat it up a little bit. You're going to be able to go through without a problem and be able to learn, okay, what are my limitations? What am I doing wrong? And we'll say a little bit more creature fights. Now, the environment can be frozen, can be set on fire. You can pick up almost everything in the area and use that as a weapon with the gravity magic. I know I pick up a lot of rocks and throw them at some enemies. I'll pick up enemies and throw them at other enemies, which just makes for funsies. And we can see here that the enemies aren't dumb. You have a bow out, you're going to shoot them in the face, they will dodge. The same thing goes for these archers here. But nobody stands still. The AI in this game was really good in how they designed enemy interactions. Not to mention the destructible environments, that everything can be destroyed if you have the time or the want to just say, oh, I'm going to take down this tree just because I want to. Maybe it'll give me some good resources. Maybe not. Oh no, I wasted 10 minutes cutting down a tree. But you know what? That's what you did. That's the fun you had. And this is what brings you further into the game. Like, see, I'll take the shot. That guy burns. Now, he's carrying that fire with him. And then that fire can do more damage to other creatures around. So it's not just, oh, I put this on fire. That's taking the fire damage. That's going to be good. No, I'm setting this area ablaze. Anything else in the wake of that fire is going to take damage. Which is just awesome. When you need to clear out a huge section of enemies, here you go. Let's burn it all down. And you can see when your satchel is full, the items are going to be grayed out that you can't carry more of, and they're just going to sit there. You can see that's a vitality tonic right there, which will automatically be used if you have maximum stash, so that you can continue just going forward. You'll find armor sets and recipes throughout the areas of the game, so that you can take them to your smith, and she'll be able to build them for you. But the really cool thing, I might jump into my game to show you, you build your weapon set or your item. Let's say I'm going to build new chest armor. You can go and reforge that. Now, I know with some games, or most of them, when you forge something, you lose those resources permanently. You don't lose any resources here. As soon as you reforge something, let's say, oh, I really want my axe to do more damage. So I'm going to find a 3 or 4 star resource to pop into that slot that'll give me that damage bump. As soon as I do that and reforge it, I get the old items back, which pays into salvaging. Salvaging allows you to break down materials you have too much of so that you can upgrade your resource areas. There are four people that you're working with that you can upgrade their parts, so you can carry more items back and forth. You can upgrade the levels of your weaves. So you need to upgrade this guy that does the mantle bonus so that you can get more power to your spells. Not just you can add more spells, because there are a total of 9 spells you can use throughout the game. I am on 6 of them right now as of this recording. 2 fire, 2 gravity, and 2 ice. So obviously the other 3 are a more powerful fire, a more powerful gravity, and a more powerful ice spell. I can't wait to figure out what these 3 are And as long as I keep going to fight new enemies and unlock the new areas, I'm going to be able to find them, I'm going to fight them, and I'm going to master what they do for me. And you can see right there we found some Windskull bracers. So those are going to be your arm bracers. For item sets, you have a headpiece, a chest piece, arms, and legs. And then you have 3 main weapons, which will be your sword and shield, your bow and arrow, and then a heavy cleaver, which is what I primarily use here. The one I have right now has like 120 DPS on it. Crits obviously do 180, 200 damage. But this right here is the Brennig Glasstail. They did a great job with these names. They're now becoming iconic to me, and I can almost just say it or see it and then just be like, oh, I know what this one gives me for 5-star materials, or how I need to harvest the strand. So you can see I'm at 9 minutes just starting this fight, and it's the end of this video is at 20. So this took me 10 minutes to fight just so I could harvest the strand. And you can see throughout this fight what I can do. We can climb on it. So you're going to have to climb on these things just like you do with Monster Hunter and do all sorts of different types of damage. I'm right now going for the shard on his head because that gives you a little bit of a bonus to what you do. One of his attacks is a drop, and it will stun him if you remove that shard. Then you want to go through, and you're going to see me burn off his fur, and we're going to take off more of the shards, because you get documentation throughout your battles on how to extract the shards from each of these major enemies, which is really cool because it tells you, oh, the first construct I fought, you need to remove the chest plate. That's it. Then it exposes. For this guy, it tells you need to remove all of his shards, burn his hair, and then make him smash his face into the ground. Only then you'll be exposed for that shard, for the strand. Because we'll go back, and now you'll see here, he's going to rear his head, come down, now he's stunned. That lets me go over and get some free shots on him without needing to have too much of a worry. And you see throughout this whole thing, I still have my 3 vials, and I've barely taken any damage. The damage I'm taking right now is the environmental hazard of his ice. And if I had the audio for my PlayStation on the computer, I would play for you. I would let you hear the soundtrack, the sounds of the enemies, everything that they put into this game, which it is a beauty to expand. I don't listen to anything else while I play this because the sound engineering is so enjoyable. And it's something that really speaks to it, because there are a lot of games I'll play where I'll just put on a soundtrack or put on another video just so I can enjoy what's going on in there. But you can see right here, the couple shots that I took at the hair ignited it, and you'll see the rest of that hair just burn right off of the head, which is just amazing game design, rather than just like, oh, you hit the damage point, it popped off. So here you'll see I'll do more damage to these crystal shards. They're going to drop resources as well as deal damage to them. And it's just, I really, really enjoy this game. And I was an amateur Monster Hunter player. I've played a few different versions on the PSP and on the PS3. But I'm not one to jump in because it feels like a real grind. You have to play for so long before you get good enough gear to be able to go hunt the bigger stuff. But this, you don't have to have any gear. You can just hunt the stuff right away. You just need to know and learn how to fight them. Oh, avoid a tail attack. Don't get hurt. This right here is a prime example of utilizing what you have in your inventory and everything to understand what to do. I went into the codex. The great foes are your bosses or the large hunt. And this gives you a ton of information that the development team put into it. They didn't have to do this amount of work, but they did so much work to the lore of the world, the backstory, the quality of each creature that you fight. Like, I let you read through this as I go through, and just look at that. All of it here. Final note. It seems the glass tail needs to be stunned for the locust to truly open. That's the hole that opens for the strand to be able to be extracted. And it doesn't tell you directly, oh, let it hit its head. You see things like this. Perhaps there's a way to take advantage of its penchant for leaping recklessly at distant enemies. So you just see by that and watching it fight you that it's going to rear up and then come down. So now you know, oh, this is what it's telling me to do. To get it to show up, I have to get him to stun himself. And then before that, it's buried. The locust is buried deep in its neck. So here we have a story that's been put together. We have information that's been placed in the game for you to understand on how to take this thing down and what to do, on how you want to accomplish the task of getting the strand to upgrade your magic. So he upgrades my ice shot ability, which is why I was really hunting for this. But you can also see I have no vials. I'm very low on health, and a couple attacks, if he hits me, I'm done. And that's what lets you run around to try to find the stuff to just get that panic out of you. Oh, I need to get up here because I had a vial that I left out in the open. The real nice thing that you have here, nothing despawns until you leave the area. So all of the items I can't pick up or everything that I can't do is all still there, albeit taunting me. But you're able to see what's going on. And I have to fight more things and still no health. All the while just trying to figure out what's the best course of action to take right now. How am I going to take this guy down? How do I get the shroud? Where is my health? You're in that state of, I call it a state of zen. Because you just need to figure out, look, I found one, but I have almost no health right here. You'll take fatal damage, but it'll always leave you with one, which I really like. It's kind of a cheap cop-out, but does that really hurt how you play the game? Does it make it less fun that they can't one-shot you? Or does it make it more fun when you get that desperation move, that finality of, oh man, if I don't do this, I'm going to die? We crack the last one off of there. And you can see you can hang on. Excuse me. All of these things that you're seeing here, these yellow lines coming from the character are allowing you to stick to the creature so that you can swing your sword, shoot your bow, or use any types of magic that you might need. Right now, I know I'm getting rid of some 1 stars so I can make sure I have enough inventory space to get some 3 stars. Because you're going to have to go through that inventory management, especially if you want to grab everything that you can of the highest quality. You'll always grab 1-star stuff, toss that stuff away, come back to it later, if you know you need it. And you can see once you're on them, these creatures are going to be fighting back against you. There's no set patterns for any of these things, so the AI is taking over once again to give you this quality, this feeling of like everything is random. Everything is acting like a real beast or creature would act if it was being attacked by a person a tenth of its size. And you can see I'm not the best. I'm back down to 1/4 of my health. I'm attacking it, trying to figure out where the last piece of the shard is to take out, and just not knowing what exactly to do until you figure it out through trial and error, which I really love on this game. Like, yeah, I'm going to say it a lot. There's a lot of things I like about this game. I was really excited when I saw the trailer because of just being able to pick up stuff in the environment and just throw it, or just to do whatever. Because that's super cool to just be able to pick up a rock, throw it at an enemy. Oh, pick up an enemy, throw it at another enemy. Make ice on the ground, pick that ice up, throw it around. Like, there's so much, like I said, that you can do in terms of creating your own style. How do you want to fight these things? What do you want to do with this world? And I really like how they brought all of these aspects together from so many different games to give almost like a amazing love letter of how you want to do things, or how you want to make a game. Like, this comes down to, they made a game, they wanted it to be a certain way, they were not scared to make this game. And again, it may have similarities to other games of bigger developers, but who cares? We don't need people making cookie cuts anymore. We need them to make things like this. Take a risk. And this was a fun, fantastic risk. Now you see, that symbol up there underneath his name says that the strand is exposed. Or the locus, as the game wants to call it. Now you'll see, I'll climb onto him. We'll just hold the simple button, and we'll harvest it out. And that's it. It's an instant kill once the strand is harvested from them. So, even if they're full health, low health, you get that strand out, they're done. There's no more fighting. Then you can take what you need, grab an items. See, that's the Glasstail Fur is a 5-star item, 5-star material. So I'm going to throw something away, pick that up, and then after that I'm going to go back to base camp and take care of things there. So there's a lot to this game, but there's also not too much learning because it's going to be intuitive. Some of the things on this game that I really wanted to talk about were just some really fun things that were part of this game. And just my initial aspects and how I felt about the game itself. The animation, as you saw from that clip, is very well. I wouldn't say insanely well done. There's some jank to it. But the way the character moves is nice and fluid. You can't do quick flick skating moves where the character's going to stay in one spot, put a leg out, and then constantly just jitter around. You can't do that, which is great because it keeps the cohesion of your character's movement. It feels fluid, as if, how would you run in this situation? You're not going to immediately quick turn 180 and turn around. You're going to stomp your foot, backtrack, and move so you can get out of there. There's a great deal of voice acting in this game. There's barely any text on screen that you have to read. Everything is a conversation that's being done between multiple people that you're going to be able to listen to and understand because they did a great job in the booth. The tutorial area where you start this story is fantastic for learning how you play this game. How do you quick swap? How do you move between weapons and items? How do you swap between your magic? You get a real sense of how to play the game from a tutorial area here. Some tutorials, I'll be on the fence and just be like, why is this even here? This is here for you to understand. There's a lot of mechanics in this game to learn, and they give you an avenue to understand it in real time. Not pull you out of the game to say, oh, shoot this spot with your ice spell. Okay, good. No, this puts a real dragon after you to teach you ice beats fire. Use ice to your advantage. When do we use fire? Who knows? You'll find that out when you play it. I'm going to give this game an 8 out of 10 overall. It is a must play for me. It's a must play for anyone who loves Monster Hunter, Legend of Zelda. If you're a Breath of the Wild fanatic or Tears of the Kingdom, get this game. You're going to have a great time with it. It's going to be shorter than the others, but it's a nice break. It's a nice break from exploring so much open world to give you a nice fun try. Like, oh, hey, I got 20 minutes to kill. Boom, I'm going to jump on here, go farm some stuff, come back, go do what I need to. The game will be there for you, just like you're going to be there for them. I love the sound design. I love the graphics. I love the enemies. I really love these great beasts that you fight. The designs on them are absolutely stunning. And again, 8 out of 10, you're going to have a great time with this game. Trust me. That's it from me from Save the Game Media. I want to thank all our Patreons who join us. I want to thank all my Nintendo Joe fans that are with me when I do the Nintendo podcast. And I want to thank everybody who does what you can to help us. Like the video, click subscribe on YouTube. If you're going to listen to this anywhere else, hit subscribe, follow us. Join our Discord. We do extra life donations every year, throughout the year. And I like to put those in there because they help people. Just like I'm trying to help you guys find a great game. So for that, I'm signing off. 8 out of 10 Eternal Strands. Have a great night.